All right, picture this. You're sitting at home, scrolling through the latest Netflix series, when suddenly it hits you. Mafia. Yep, the good old mafia. What do you think of when you hear that word? The Godfather, right? A man donning a fedora, dropping wise quotes while giving a stern look, surrounded by a bunch of other guys in suits. But wait, before you go jumping into that idea, let's take a detour to Asia. That's right. I'm talking about the real heavy hitters of the mafia world. And I'm not talking about some romanticized, dramatized version either. Meet the Triads. Now, before you start thinking, oh, this sounds like another one of those overhyped crime syndicates, let me tell you, this isn't your typical mob story. These guys have been around for centuries and are far more complex than any Hollywood movie plot. And no, we're not talking about some rookie group with a few guns and flashy cars. No, these bad boys are the definition of underground empire, with a global network that makes you question if anyone in the world is untouched by their influence. Welcome to the world of the Hong Kong Triads, or as they are commonly known in pop culture, the Tam Hong. And while you're busy thinking, oh yeah, that sounds familiar, let me just stop you right there. The Tam Hong isn't your average gang. These guys didn't get into the game with some flashy Instagram posts and a couple of mobster vibes TikToks. No. They've been around since the Qing dynasty, operating in the shadows, weaving through history like it's their personal playground. And if you think you've heard it all, well, buckle up. We're just getting started. Back in the day, under the rule of the Qing dynasty, when people were more focused on surviving than, watching Netflix and chilling, a few rebels had a different idea. They decided it was time to form a club that wasn't exactly legal. These rebels didn't just pop up like some shady underground nightclub with dim lights and loud music. They were organized. We're talking about secret societies that were basically the precursors to today's multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprises. And oh boy, did they know how to get things done. They got together and said, why obey the law when you can just break it? Genius, right? The Triads started small, but they were quick learners. They realized, if we want to make real money, we need to operate on a global scale. So naturally they expanded, like any ambitious startup. But their startup wasn't selling smoothies. It was selling everything from drugs to gambling and even loan sharking. And that wasn't all. They didn't just want a piece of the pie. They wanted the whole dang bakery. They set up their bases in Hong Kong, Macau, and pretty much anywhere they could get their hands on. By the 2000s, the BBC was calling them the largest criminal network in the world, beating even the most famous Italian mafia families. Yeah, you heard that right. The Triads had more members than the Chinese military. Now that's a power move. Now let's talk numbers. The Triads have been operating for over 400 years. That's right, 400 years of crime, corruption, and absolute chaos. You can't even get a decent Wi-Fi signal that lasts for more than 2 hours. And these guys have been running this game longer than your great-grandparents' great-grandparents were alive. And how do they do it? Oh, they're not exactly using traditional business tactics, like opening up a tech startup. Nope, these guys have mastered the fine art of keeping things under wraps, recruiting members through secret initiation rites that would make even the most hardcore conspiracy theorist nervous. Let's break down the initiation, shall we? To join, you don't get a simple handshake or a welcome aboard email. Oh no. First, you have to swear an oath. And it's not one of those, I swear to uphold the values of my country type deals. This is a life or death oath with blood involved. Literally, you offer a sacrifice, usually a pet, and then chug some alcohol mixed with, wait for it, blood. Yeah, blood. As if the commitment to this group wasn't heavy enough already. And the best part? If you break the oath, the punishment is not just getting a slap on the wrist. No. The punishment is a sword. Yes, a sword. This is literally one of those groups where you could get stabbed just for talking back. Talk about commitment to the cause. But that's not all. Once you're in, you're not just some random member. Oh no, you're part of a family. You treat your fellow Triad members like blood relatives. And if one of them gets in trouble, guess who's supposed to bail them out? You. You break the family code, you don't just get a fine. You get a sword in the gut. That's some old school mafia loyalty right there, folks. So why are we even talking about this? Because this group isn't just hanging out in dark alleyways anymore. These days, the Triads are running one of the most sophisticated global operations, so slick you'd think they were running a legitimate Fortune 500 company. They're involved in everything, from illegal activities like drug trafficking to more legitimate stuff like real estate, restaurants, and, yes, even casinos. Talk about diversification, right? Stay tuned. Now, let's get to the fun part. How they evolved from a simple underground operation to an international mega corporation of crime. Picture this. A group of people who started off with little more than a few secret handshakes and some very questionable initiation rituals. And now they're running everything from illegal gambling rings to rinsing money through legit businesses. You know it's serious when they've got their hands in everything from real estate to nightclubs, from sports betting to money laundering via high-end restaurants. Let's be clear, folks. The Triads aren't just staying in their lane. They've infiltrated the legitimate business world like a stealthy ninja in a boardroom, blending right in with everyone else. They've taken money laundering to a whole new level, making it look like they've been trained by the finest accountants on the planet. Washing money through real estate? Easy. Rinsing it through a few Chinese restaurants and casinos? Done. These guys know how to operate a legit-looking business while making sure the dirty cash stays, well, dirty. And what about their operations across the globe? Forget about it. From Hong Kong to Macau, Southeast Asia, North America, Europe, and even Australia, these guys are everywhere. In fact, the Triads have managed to set up shop wherever there's a sizable Chinese community. They've got real estate in all the hotspots, from the bustling streets of San Francisco's Chinatown to the luxurious skyscrapers of Hong Kong. Want to know how they keep their empire running? It's simple. They're experts at mixing the illegal with the legal. In the United States, these guys didn't waste any time. By the early 1990s, they had already established themselves as one of the biggest criminal syndicates in places like California, New York, and even Las Vegas. Think about that for a second. Las Vegas. The city that made its name off bright lights, showgirls, and very questionable decisions. And the Triads have their fingers deep in that pie. We're talking about a group that, if you weren't paying attention, could very well have been sitting across from you at your favorite casino, making bets or placing bets that were going straight into their pockets. But don't think this is all just fun and games. Oh no. These guys are serious about making money. They're running operations so smooth, it's like they've got their own team of financial wizards handling the dirty work. And if you're wondering how they keep expanding, let me tell you. These bad boys have connections. They don't just know a guy who knows a guy. They know everybody. The connections they've made over the years, particularly in the world of real estate, have helped them amass an empire that spans continents. You want to talk about growth? The Triads are the perfect example of criminal enterprise taking full advantage of globalization. Whether it's in the form of illegal gambling rings, money laundering through real estate, or more traditional crime like drug trafficking, these guys are like cockroaches. They're everywhere. And they've survived for centuries. They're not just sticking to the usual tricks either. Nope. These Triads are masters of modern-day corporate crime. From online gambling to cryptocurrency, they've figured out how to keep their operations moving with the times. Oh, and let's not forget about their legal businesses. They're sitting at the same dinner tables as your average upstanding businessman, laughing all the way to the bank. These guys don't just stick to traditional crime. Oh no. They're diversified, running genuine businesses with their illegal cash on the side. Ever wonder where all that dirty money goes? It doesn't just disappear into thin air. Nope. It gets funneled through property deals, casinos, even some of your favorite restaurants in Chinatown. They've made the perfect crime syndicate, legal on the outside and criminal on the inside. But wait, just when you think it couldn't get crazier, the Triads show up and surprise you. In 2023, they got involved in everything, from cybercrime and identity theft to human trafficking. They've literally branched into everything, from big-time drugs to big-time scams. They're not just in the game anymore. They're the game. Oh, and here's where it gets even juicier. Despite being one of the largest, most powerful criminal syndicates in the world, they've also become so entangled with the political elite that they can practically call the shots. That's right. Some reports suggest that the Triads have their fingers deep in the political pie, influencing elections, manipulating officials, and even stepping in when there's a little local unrest that needs to be handled. Quietly. I mean, who wouldn't want a shady organization that's this well connected, right? But hey, don't just take my word for it. In 2021, a massive operation in Hong Kong led to a huge bust. The Triads got caught laundering millions, and I'm talking about real money, not monopoly cash, through their dirty business operations. Law enforcement caught wind of the whole thing. And guess what? The Triads got busted hard. They may have a near unbreakable empire, but even they can't outsmart modern-day policing. Right? Wrong. They adapted. They're still out there, more covert than ever, still going strong. They've been around for centuries, and they'll likely be around for many more. Now, let's talk about what's really interesting here. Despite their worldwide reach and dark dealings, the Triads have somehow managed to glorify themselves in pop culture. Movies, TV shows, music, hell, even video games love to romanticize these guys. They're portrayed as cool, tough, and borderline untouchable. I mean, if you watched enough Hong Kong crime dramas, you'd think they were just misunderstood gangsters trying to make a living. But the truth? They're a criminal network that's been running the show for over 400 years. And there you have it. Now, here's where you come in. What do you think? Is the Triads' global domination impressive? Or are they just another overhyped group of criminals that's been romanticized into myth? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the discussion going. Oh, and by the way, if you enjoyed learning about these underground empires and their wild, unpredictable operations, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next. And trust me, there's a lot more where that came from. Stay tuned, my friends. It's only going to get crazier from here.